So diagnosis by deduction. It means what we're doing is restoring and neutralizing the memory flags using heart restoration. And we're narrowing down these suspected issues until we get back to that primary event. And again, I've mentioned using the list. And what that means is you're going to, like I said, you're going to make a laundry list of everything you can think of that's happened in your life, all the stuff that's still haunting you, the beliefs that you think you've got, the constant recurring problems in your life. And, you don't have to write a whole book, although it would probably be faster if you could. I know it sounds like it wouldn't be faster, but it actually would be. And then once you kind of have this big long list, what you're doing is trying to boil it down, and so you're going to be identifying that theme, and you're looking for themes. A bit of a Sherlock Holmes moment is trying to identify what's the recurring feeling, or what's the, who's this related to? Is it the same person? Do I keep seeing the same person come up? Maybe we need to be addressing trauma centered around a person, or an event that's centered around the same person over and over again. And what is your belief about that person, or what is your belief about how that person treats you? So you're kind of looking for themes there. And so if you can kind of on the one side you're going to put down what the issue is, and on the other side you want to try and put a theme to this. What's the theme? The theme is my mom. The theme is my mom makes me feel worthless. Or the theme is my brother. The theme is, my brother treats me badly. And then you're going to have that statement, right? So you can muscle test for my brother treats me badly. Well, okay, I hold this belief. Okay, well, if that's what's in your field, then your brother's going to continue to treat you badly, because that's your agreement. My agreement is my brother treats me badly. Now, you're also going to test for I treat my brother badly. Why? Because there's your polarity recusal. You need to be doing both. So we're looking at both these angles. So in the process of doing this, in the process of kind of identifying themes and setting up a feeling to it, or identifying who it's related to, I want you to really kind of take a good look at how many of these themes are related, how many of these have the same concept behind them. And that's where you're going to start to identify, okay, I'm starting to see here that there's probably a primary event, and if there's a primary event, it's probably related to these 10 things or these 15 things, and here's something that's different, right? These 5 make me feel worthless. These 4 make me feel angry, and that anger is related to my mom. And so you can see the first time I was angry related to my mom was between the ages of 1 and 5 and 10, 15, whatever. And then you can kind of drill down, where did this first show up for me? And you clear that. And you may have a couple different primary events related to, being angry at your mom. But as you start to peel away, like I said, as you peel away those flags from each event, you get a little bit closer until you can kind of put your finger on, okay, it was this moment that this happened. And we'll walk through that process. But basically, those recurring themes, recurring emotions, recurring life patterns, thought patterns, self-talk. Self-talk's another good one to look at. What things are you saying to yourself during the day? Can you kind of capture those? Do you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough? Do you constantly tell yourself that you're broke? What is your belief about money? Do you believe that you don't deserve money? Do you even start writing down what are some of your beliefs related to money? What are some of the things that you continuously say to yourself? These are statements, and you want to know if you're actually holding these in your field, if these are the agreements that you have in your field, and that's what we're going to be testing for with the muscle testing. And then once again, you would look at both sides of that. I love money. Money loves me. I deserve money. I reject money. Right? Good question. Do you reject money? Not a good plan. So basically, that's how what we're doing is whittling it down, and what we're doing is looking at it big picture. What they say with drawing, even when you're an artist, is when you're up close like this, you cannot see the art. You can't see how distorted it is. And so what they tell you to do is back way up and look at it, and then you can kind of see where the errors are and where things are out of proportion. And so that's kind of what we're doing, is we're saying make this big laundry list, and then you're going to take that list, you're going to back up, and you're going to start putting themes to it, putting, what's my thought on this? or what is my feeling with this, or who's this related to. You know, you can take a crack at when you think this might have first showed up for you. But at first I want you to really take a look at using that diagnosis to kind of identify what's connected, what on your list is connected, or what on your list do you think is connected. That's the place to start, because you could take out all these things on your list if you could just get to that primary event that might be the trigger for those things. And there could be a few, and there could be a couple different aspects to it, but at least you're getting closer. You're narrowing out a lot of time with muscle testing and heart, using the heart restoration method. You're gonna save yourself a lot of time by trying to see these themes and make these connections. So, using the diagnosis by detection to identify the primary event, you would use the heart restoration method, and you'd remove that issue. Okay, so that's basically the concept of diagnosis, is really kind of using that, identifying that sequence generation, using that testing, and using the power of your observation and power of your intuition. You know, I really want you to kind of tune in, and you know, if your mind goes to something, that's what I want you to write down, because oftentimes people will think it's something and then, oh no, it's probably not that. No, it probably is that. So I want you to write that down. You know, if it's, well, there was this time when, and the problem with that is people go, well, there was this time when, oh, that's stupid. You know what, it's probably not stupid, and if you were little, it was probably a big deal when you were little, and big enough for you to remember it right now. So don't dismiss what you think might be small or stupid or insignificant. Sometimes those are exactly what the issue is, and the things that pop into your mind like that, I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but those ones, don't dismiss those. In fact, muscle test that right away and say, this is related to this, and muscle test it and just find out right then and there if these things are correlated. And you can also muscle test in this diagnosis of detection process. You can say, this issue with my mom yelling at me is related to this issue with my boss related to this. These two things related? Yes, they are. You can absolutely connect these dots, connect these dots, connect these dots, and then you're going to say, this first showed up for me between the ages of 1 and 5, or this first showed up for me between the ages of 5 and 10, and so on and so on. You know, and then this is related to a person, place, object. You start drilling it down. This is related to finance, health, relationships. I'm going to have these different QAs that you can kind of go through, and we'll get into all that. But just kind of giving you an idea of how you're trying to diagnose yourself down and try making some of these connections. So these are just a few highlights.